So, thank you, Cheryl, for agreeing to share some of your experiences in this testimonial of the soul contract reading training level 3 we did last November. So, just wondering whether you'd like to sort of let the viewers know, what was it like prior to the course? What were you feeling, and what were your expectations, and what were you trying to achieve from the course?
Right, where do I begin? Right, prior to the course, I was, sort of doing fairly well in life, but sort of having that beating my head against a brick wall kind of thing, and not being able to push through and get where I really wanted to be, where I felt I needed to be, and so sort of did a lot of soul searching, and of course within that came across your work, and immediately resonated with it, which led me to having a soul contract reading of my own, and that was sort of like putting a spotlight onto my life and sort of going, here's the path ahead, this is where you're going. And here's a few tips and techniques on how to get there. And it was relatively quick for me from the reading that I knew that doing soul contract level 1 through 3 was the right thing for me to be doing. And so obviously, got onto the level 1 course. Absolutely loved that. Did my readings, actually did a few more practice readings, and found the more I was working with the energy, the more it was settling in and sort of becoming a part of me and a part of my life. And then, of course, couldn't wait for level 2 to come around, and was just so excited when it did. And that sort of took to coin a phrase, took me to another level, where sort of getting the energy flowing more and integrating and seeing the patterns, of doing the overlays, and how people were reacting was very exciting. And it sort of again opened up a whole lot more for me, and saw some of my own patterns coming through, and some of the own areas where I myself needed to develop, and where I could actually help others develop as well, which was very exciting. And then, of course, once again, couldn't wait for level 3 to come about, and in serendipitous ways that the universe works, level 3 came about just at a point where I was sort of thinking, I now really need something to sort of pull everything that I've done together, and sort of put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And then doing the level 3 did that. Everything sort of fell into place. Where there were a few questions, the answers came, and again the energies just sort of opened up and flowed on a completely higher level, and that sort of has brought a lot to me, and it's sort of been like almost full circle, where I now have all that wonderful knowledge, that experience, that over the sort of past year has been crucial again to furthering my development as well as helping the people around me. And I've noticed that from level 3 as well, even people who aren't really drawn to the soul contracts things because they're in too much of a corporate world and haven't connected, have noticed such positive changes in me, and are quite interested to know where this has come from, and very surprised when we do talk about it from a soul level, and that interest is starting to grow. So it's lovely to see that whole sort of flowing in to me, and now through me, and out into the wider world.
So what sort of, when you were on the training, how did you find that? How did you find integrating this level of the work?
Initially it was quite difficult, because having sort of the 22 numbers, then the double numbers, and sort of getting all the energies going at that was quite overwhelming at first. But in a way, it's a really good overwhelming, because it's sort of spurred me into wanting to know, well, why am I overwhelmed, and how do I get to know the essences of each of these numbers? So it was a journey, it was an absolute journey, and a very exciting one, because along the way, sort of learning how each of the numbers came together, how they integrate into, one person's sort of soul destiny, and then how that affects other people. It sort of has made for a much more rounded way in communicating, and going through that sort of initial bit of being overwhelmed has just been so rewarding, that now I sort of look back and think, wow, I can't believe I was ever in that space, and it's just amazing how that what came through being a little bit overwhelmed has opened so many doors and expanded so much. So it's been a really good journey from overwhelmed to, wow, this is good.
So in level 3, now that you'd integrated by that stage the essence of the numbers, and you'd understood overlays with level 2, okay, so applying that to the business world, where we're trying to bring alignment of an individual who runs a business, or a group of individuals who run a business, with their true purpose, then aligning the business to the direction they're going in. How did you find absorbing that sort of concept, which has sort of taken it to another level again?
For me, I found that was the piece of the puzzle that took it from being, this is, something I'm really enjoying, into that, wow, this is now totally amazing, because it just made a whole lot more sense. Level 1 and 2 make perfect sense, and it is an amazing journey. But level 3 was the one for me that sort of went, wow, this completely, the pennies dropped, so to speak, and this is getting someone's alignment from their soul contract or birth chart through to getting that alignment with their business, with their team around them, and seeing the dynamics of that was for me that final piece in the puzzle that went, yep, I've definitely done the right thing and I'm moving in the right direction, and it felt really good.
So did you feel you integrated the work a lot more?
Absolutely.
Deeply as a result, yeah.
Yes. It's sort of from where it was sort of sitting just around me that I could draw on those sort of energies. The level 3 sort of seemed to be integrated as part of me.
Okay, that's a good sign when you start to feel you've become it. That means you've got it at a bodily level, because we're really giving a bodily transmission of the work at each of the levels, and we've discovered that 3 transmissions really embeds it in the DNA and the awakening process to what you already actually know.
Yeah.
So, how's it been? Have you had an opportunity to use the work out in the world since the workshop?
I started off, because I was doing my own business, and in the throes of level 1 and 2, I started my own business. So doing level 3 sort of highlighted that nice big 21 that I always seem to put in the place of everything, just to work that little bit harder. Level 3 showed me, well, actually that's not entirely necessary. And sort of looking at my own business, I was able to align that more fully, and I'm now in the process of making a lot of changes, and soon will be relaunching in a much more aligned, energetic state, which already is showing good indications. And it's also allowed me to align my second business with my energies, or my energies with the business, and to make sure that everything is in the right alignment, which makes life a lot easier, and that sort of brought in all the help and support that I've needed just from that. And I've started looking at sort of some of the other businesses around me, and sort of working with how it would be aligned, be better aligned, with different people in different areas. So it's been a lot of playing with the energies, but it's been really, really good. And I sort of am walking the path before showing the way, so to speak.
Yeah, it's important to have done that so that then you have become the practical application of the work.
Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like overall that you've had a good experience from this. It sort of fulfilled the completion of the transmission for you. So you just said you sort of have become it effectively,
Yeah.
rather than sort of trying to learn it. You become it, which is a key transitionary phase in this work, if you want to call it learning. But I like to call it more remembering, what you already know. Are there any final comments you'd like to make, Cheryl, just on your overall experience at level 3?
I would sort of say for me, it's been one of the best gifts I've given myself. And in giving this gift to myself, I've been able to share this gift with a lot of other people as well. So it has been very important for me, and important in being able to share this with the greater world out there. So, definitely well worth all 3 levels, and well worth the journey.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Cheryl. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.